Is a massive real estate bubble the big problem for the global economy? We have different elements in the real estate risk all over the world. It is certainly true that in countries like Canada, like the United States, the UK, Sweden, and China, the bubble in real estate has been phenomenal and has been very aggressive because prices were rising massively above wages and certainly above affordability levels in the period of negative rates and liquidity injections. Obviously, negative rates and liquidity injections lead investors to take much more risk in real estate, among other things, in order to generate some return. And as those prices become more and more expensive, investors need to take more leverage in order to get a little bit higher return or a return above cost of capital. So, in most of the developed economies, there is certainly a significant risk of a burst in the real estate bubble, but not to the extent that we saw in 2008, for a very simple reason. Yes, there has been excess in the period of negative rates and high liquidity injections, but in this same period, most of companies involved in real estate and most families have been significantly more prudent than they were in 2006, 2007. It is extremely important to understand, therefore, that the risk of correction is enormous. Real estate doesn't work as a hedge against inflation in a period in which prices have gone to such elevated levels that they were already discounting the high inflation levels many years ago, because in the period of negative rates and high liquidity injections, prices were rising much faster than expected. So it is real estate in the commercial sector that is most at risk, fundamentally because the fundamentals of supply and demand are not particularly strong, as there's a shift to move to different ways of selling and to be in terms of everything that has to do with offices, etc. In real estate property for families, there is obviously something that has to be done with a lot of detail. We have to analyze the level of demand very strictly and consider how supply is. But overall, real estate and the real estate index are not areas where, in an environment of contraction of money supply and rising rates, even if those rates stop rising and remain for the end of the year, is very unlikely that we will see an elevated improvement in the prices of real estate as an overall asset class.